The story of the leopard, the tortoise, and the bush rat. During the time of the Great Famine, all the animals in the forest were thin and weak from hunger. There was only one exception, the tortoise and her entire family. They remained plump and healthy, showing no signs of suffering at all. Even the leopard was terribly thin, despite the agreement he had made with the other animals, that they would bring him their old grandmothers and mothers so he could eat. At the beginning of the famine, the leopard had killed the tortoise's mother. Furious and determined to get revenge, the clever tortoise discovered a shallow, fish-filled pond deep in the forest. Every morning she went there and easily brought back enough fish to feed her family. One day, the leopard met the tortoise and noticed how fat and healthy she looked. Suspicious and hungry himself, he decided to follow her. The next morning, he hid in the tall grass and waited patiently. Soon, the tortoise arrived slowly, carrying a basket that looked very heavy. The leopard suddenly leaped out and blocked her path. "What do you have in that basket?" he demanded. Not wanting to lose her breakfast, the tortoise replied that she was simply carrying firewood home. But the leopard had a very sharp sense of smell. He immediately knew there was fish inside. "I know there is fish in there," he growled, "and I am going to eat it." The tortoise, being a small and powerless creature compared to the leopard, could not refuse. She said calmly, "Very well. Let us sit under that shady tree. If you make a fire, I will go home and fetch some pepper, oil, and salt so we can eat the fish together properly." The leopard agreed. While he went off to gather dry wood for the fire, the tortoise hurried home. She soon returned with the pepper, oil, and salt, and also brought a long, very strong piece of rattan rope. She placed the rope on the ground and began cooking the fish. Then she said to the leopard, "While the fish is cooking, let us play a game of tying each other to the tree. You can tie me first. When I say tighten, you must loosen the rope. When I say loosen, you must tighten it." The hungry leopard thought this game would help pass the time while the fish cooked, so he agreed. The tortoise stood with her back to the tree and said, "Loosen the rope." The leopard began tying her. Quickly she shouted, "Tighten." And the leopard immediately loosened the rope, freeing her. "Now it's your turn, leopard," she said. The leopard stood against the tree and told the tortoise to loosen the rope. But instead of following the rules, the tortoise quickly wrapped the strong rattan rope around him many times, tying him tightly to the tree. The leopard shouted, "Tighten the rope." But the tortoise ignored him. She ran faster and faster around the tree, wrapping the rope tighter and tighter, carefully staying out of reach of his claws. Soon the leopard was completely bound and unable to move. All the while, the leopard begged the tortoise to release him, saying he was tired of the game. But the tortoise only laughed. She sat down by the fire, ate the fish until she was full, packed the leftovers for her family, and prepared to leave. Before departing, she said to the leopard, "You killed my mother, and now you wanted to steal my fish. I will not bring you any more from the pond. I leave you here to die of hunger." She then threw the remaining pepper and salt into the leopard's eyes and walked away calmly, leaving him roaring in pain. The leopard called for help all day and all night, swearing revenge against the tortoise. But no one came. The animals and people of the forest were afraid of the leopard's voice and did not want to free him. The next morning, as the animals came out to search for food, the leopard begged everyone who passed by to untie him. But they all refused, knowing he would kill and eat them immediately if freed. Finally, a bush rat came along and saw the leopard tied to the tree. The leopard explained that he had been playing the tighten and loosen game with the tortoise, who had tricked him. He begged the bush rat to chew through the ropes with his sharp teeth. The kind-hearted bush rat felt pity for the leopard, but he was also cautious. He knew that once freed, the leopard might eat him. So he dug a hole under the tree for safety. He then carefully chewed one rope and quickly jumped into his hole. When nothing happened, he came out again, chewed another rope, and repeated the process until the leopard was finally free. But as soon as the leopard was loose, instead of thanking the bush rat, he pounced on him with his huge paw. The bush rat was fast and dove into his hole, but he wasn't quick enough. The leopard's sharp claws raked across his back, leaving deep marks. And that is why, to this very day, bush rats have white spots and stripes on their backs, the permanent scars left by the leopard's claws. This folktale teaches that intelligence and cleverness always triumph over brute strength and arrogance. The leopard, despite being the most powerful animal, is outsmarted and humiliated by the small tortoise through patience, strategy, and revenge for the murder of her mother. The story warns that cruelty and oppression eventually bring consequences, and that one should be very careful about showing kindness to those who have a history of harming others, as shown when the helpful bush rat is nearly killed by the ungrateful leopard, leaving permanent scars on his back. Ultimately, it reminds us that true survival and success in difficult times depend on wisdom rather than force, that ingratitude destroys potential alliances, and that those who live by violence and abuse of power will one day face justice or humiliation. The key message is brains and patience beat brawn, and kindness should be given wisely.